Welcome back to HBO Girls Rewatch.
I'm Amelia.
And I'm Evan.
And we've officially made it to the season 1 finale of Girls.
HBO Girls.
Ladies, how the hell does it feel?
Oh my god, and 12% men and 2% non-binary that listen to our podcast.
And 0.1% not specified.
We were rooting for you this episode.
We love you, UK. Guys, it's great to be here.
We're all playing footsie under the table today.
You caught us in an amazing mood because I had a major breakthrough this week and Evan went on a trip.
Yeah, I don't know. I went to Boston, so it's like that actually leaves a lot to be desired. But I went to an amazing museum, and at the museum, it was actually the largest art heist of all time participated there. And for me, it's like it's bringing my two passions together, which is like interior design, which is all about this museum, and art theft.
Art theft, like Banksy.
So we're gonna introduce our little guests here today. They're one of our closest allies.
Yeah, keep going. Evan's gonna do all of it.
Okay, I want to do it. Amelia and him actually host a show together, a comedy show called Early Years. My two nipples are out for this one. They also host another show together called Soapbox, which is about 35 performers just talking about one thing for 1 minute, and everyone is slightly happy and angry at the same time.
What?
Yeah.
Give it up for Charlie Flynn!
Guys, this is huge. Charlie is my biggest support system in my life. It's crazy to have him on.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Did anyone have any good tweets this week?
Hmm?
Anyone have any good tweets this week?
No, so me and Charlie were actually texting about our past Twitter lives this morning, but I used to tweet for them to be good, and now I kind of tweet as like a live diary.
Yeah.
Like right now, all my tweets are about old seasons of Survivor, and nobody is interacting, and every time I tweet, I actually lose 2 followers.
Today's actually the 14th anniversary of me starting a Twitter account. 14. I started when I was 10 because my mom was going on a trip to Italy with my grandmother. And she was like, I won't have service, but I want to keep you guys posted on what I'm doing in Italy. So I'll use this new thing called Twitter. So she had us all make Twitter accounts.
Oh, that's really cute.
And then she never tweeted once when she was
Wi-Fi?
in Italy. Because Wi-Fi, because I don't know, service. It was a different time.
Yeah, that's actually really sweet.
But she never tweeted on it.
Keep it up from there.
But yeah, that's the same Twitter account I started like 14 years ago.
Oh my god!
Little did she know what kind of fucked up kid she would have created from that.
Can you believe? And now I'm far past my Twitter peak.
It's like I didn't start Twitter until the moment it started dying. I was like, there's an amazing time to get on down. The day Elon Musk started tweeting, I started tweeting too.
Did you see Elon Musk is gonna says he's gonna appoint a female CEO of Twitter?
Yeah, he absolutely has to.
Well, that's what we call, folks. I mean, I was talking to you about this the other day. That's what we call the glass cliff.
I don't like when you talk like my dad.
That's when businesses that are about to go under or about to like do really poorly choose that moment to like put a woman in charge.
Oh yes.
And so then they're like, see, the woman failed.
Wait,
the woman
so
failed
good
at
for
saving her
girls.
business.
Didn't-
It's really bad for girls.
No, I mean it's really good for our.
Oh, it's good
girls.
to discuss. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, that was sorry.
The glass cliff.
Bad for girls, but good for this girl.
Good for HBO girls.
Yeah.
Which is what our podcast is ultimately about. So, Charlie,
where
were you when you first watched Girls?
Okay, so I have a journeyed story with Girls because I famously have a queer elder who is my my gay brother. I have brother, my gay brother George, who's 3 years old. Shout out! I hope you're listening. Shout out my sister Hannah.
3 years old.
3 years old.
3 years older. Sorry, 3 years older.
Oh,
and also shout out my sister Hannah because Hannah Horvath. Same names.
And I feel like Hannah, your sister, is Hannah Horvath.
Not
she's
quite.
a lot sassier.
She's
Well, who else would she be?
She's not on that show.
She's on that show. She's in.
I love to say that. Whenever people are mapping like who they are on a show, I love to be like, "You're actually not. You're not.
You're not in. You're
like,
not.
Charlie's
a
like,
cast
"Am I in? Who am I in Broad City?" I'm like, "You're not in that one."
I'm Bevers.
You're not Bevers.
I know.
I hate when you talk about yourself like you're Bevers.
But George was really into Girls when I was like young. George was like watching Girls. Well, he wasn't into Girls, but he was into HBO Girls. And he was watching that like when it came out. So I would occasionally watch it with him, but I didn't like do full series until the summer between my first and second year of college when I was taking summer classes and I was like living in a dorm room alone. But it's so crazy because I hadn't thought about that period of my life for so long. And then when I got here today, I stepped into the lobby of your building And something about like the smell and the AC and like how cold it was, it like instantly transported me back to that room. So it felt kind of like kismety.
Oh my God, you just wrote a poem
Isn't
live
that
on our
beautiful?
podcast.
About how, I don't know, just the world is circular and about how media can kind of connect us to different moments in our lives.
Totally. It's like when, so my mom we used to drive from Austin to San Antonio to go to SeaWorld this one summer. And I know it's bad and I'm sorry about Shamu. And we're going to talk about the episode really quick right after this. But it would take an hour and a half and my mom would just play every time we drove to SeaWorld the entire Mamma Mia soundtrack from start to finish. So to this day, anytime any song from ABBA plays, I just think of being 11 in a car in Texas.
Aww.
Or being at SeaWorld, like seeing dolphins.
That's beautiful.
If listeners can tell I'm a little drunk, it's because I am. I drink 1/3 of a bottle of wine, which is actually a lot for me. And it's because my two friends that take photos for somewhat professionally made me.
It's okay.
It's totally like living in New York and like hanging out with new people. You can't be sober.
Unless you want to be.
Well, I was saying
It's
is
just
Charlie
hard.
just revealed that our apartment has AC in the lobby. Which is crazy. People can really narrow it down. They know Hasidic and they know AC in lobby. It's like.
And meanwhile, I thought I had the AC running preparatorily. I love
you're salutatorian.
Preparatorily for the like hours before Charlie got here because I wanted it to be cold, but it was just the fan, so it did nothing.
Perfect.
I will put the AC on a few minutes before you.
So Charlie watched the episode twice and is smart. So we're gonna let Charlie give the synopsis before we jump into our first segment. So synopsis. This is time.
I like that.
Really quick, it's season 1, episode 10. She did.
So it starts with Marnie moving all of her stuff out of the apartment because she and Hannah had a falling out. Adam's helping move stuff down the stairs, and then they have kind of like a terse interaction. And Marnie leaves to go move into Shoshanna's. And then Adam and Hannah are back in the apartment, and Adam's like, maybe I'll move in. So then it's like, oh, maybe Adam's moving in. Maybe this is really serious. And then later, everyone gets a text. It's like, there's a secret party from Jessa. No one's heard from Jessa. And then Jessa's all of a sudden saying there's a secret party. Everyone gets dressed to go to the secret party. We find out, we get to the secret party. Everyone's there. It's a who's who of the show girls.
Literally. That cast list?
Which is like so random. It's like, why is Charlie we can get to it.
Who invited Charlie?
Who invited Charlie?
She doesn't know that many people in the city.
I guess. It ends up that the secret party is Jessa's wedding to, I don't know the character's name, but Chris O'Dowd, who was the guy that she and Marnie almost had a threesome with, or didn't almost have a threesome with, but he wanted them to have a threesome a few episodes prior.
Thomas John,
correct.
So funny of them to call him Thomas John. Like, of course that's his name.
And so everyone kind of goes. It's kind of like a fun little wedding, whatever. And then Elijah's also there. He mentions that he needs somewhere to live. So Hannah invites him to move in. And then
because Adam is like, I'll totally move in.
Adam's like, I'll totally move in. But Hannah kind of thinks that's like a him taking pity kind of thing. And so she thinks this is like taking that weight off of Adam. So she tells Adam.
You think she thinks that, or she's choosing to think?
Let's not analyze right now.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, this makes Adam really upset when he finds out. And he and Hannah kind of go at it. And it ends with Adam getting hit by a car, the car just speeds off.
It was a hit and run.
It was a hit and run, mama. And at the same time, Marnie's hooking up with
SNL cast
Bobby Moynihan. Marnie hooks up with Bobby Moynihan at the wedding after
Bobby and Marnie are hooking up.
I love it. Anyways,
there's so much
Hannah gets on the train, falls asleep on the train. Her purse gets stolen. She wakes up. She's taken the F train all the way to Coney Island, and she gets off, and she finds herself sitting on the beach eating cake, which is
by the ocean.
Cake by the ocean, which is so Lena Dunham.
And then that's where it ends. Season 1 finale.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, amazing job.
She does like
it's chills. No, that gave me chills.
Yeah, no, it gave me chills to watch.
It gives me chills to watch every time.
Cake is such a prop throughout this episode. It's
yeah, it's this episode is the choreography of Cake.
Oh, 100%.
It really is. Like the Marnie of it all, the Jess of it. Oh my God. We have so much to discuss.
I have so much to talk about, actually.
We're really going to analyze. For those of you who are like, they don't analyze enough today, we're really getting in the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
But first, we must find out. Girl, what girl are you?
My answer is that I'm Hannah and Marnie.
Yeah, I agree.
Mostly Hannah.
But why?
No, you're so Hannah.
I think I'm
You're a writer that's like feels discouraged.
I'm like writer that feels discouraged, mainly because I don't really write anything.
And that's not.
Well,
the point.
that's Hannah.
Yeah,
she says I haven't really written anything.
That's all writers.
Like you would get into Iowa and you would 100%. You wouldn't. Well, I don't want to say this about you, but you might leave Iowa.
I wouldn't leave Iowa, but I would want to.
Yeah.
I told you about morning pages, and you almost did anything to make me stop.
But I did them for a week.
And not to make this about me, but I'm up to 18 days of morning pages.
I love that you type your morning pages on a website.
I love that.
It's like I can't read my handwriting. I want to know what I'm saying one day.
You're supposed to write it and forget it. Does nobody read the
Yeah,
actual
you have to.
No,
You're supposed to write and forget.
Supposed to go back.
We didn't talk about morning pages.
You can go.
the other time.
Okay, but it says you can go back. I read it.
Amelia's already pissed at how much she's gonna have to cut out.
60 days of it, but then you can go back and read it after the fact. Like you're not the first 60 days you're not supposed to read, but then overall you can read it.
You know
it's
what?
The first 60 days you're not supposed to.
You really caught on to that one little note they made. You're right.
I read the first chapter. I told you nothing else, but the first chapter I really.
I will give you that. They do say that.
Yeah.
So we take back what we said. So here's the thing: what makes you Marnie? That you want to follow the rules of life?
Yeah, I think like
Well, you work in art.
I work in art. And
art
PR. And I think like, yeah, I think Marnie like really like has like this such a specific, like more than anyone else in the show, she has like such a sense of like, this is how my life is supposed to be, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is like what you do, and this is how you do it. And she tries so hard to like keep herself to that like rigid structure, which I think is something that was like for a long time and have been trying pretty hard to like not be. But I think it's still something that's in me. So I think I'm like trying to like
1 to Marnie.
Yeah.
And then we kind of see the dissolve of that.
Right. And then you see Marnie like take it in the whole other direction and like blow her life up.
People don't give her enough credit for that. We'll get to that later.
No, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I would say you're mainly Hannah.
Mainly Hannah. Yeah. And that takes a big person to admit.
Well, I just can't believe a Hannah, Shoshanna, and Marnie.
What is this about you being a Shoshanna?
I actually do think I'm a Shoshanna because I talk really fast and I don't make sense half the time. And I'm like always hoping for someone to like be in love with my quippy personality.
I think you're internally Shoshanna, outwardly a little bit more together.
I'm more together than Shoshanna? I can't hold down a job.
No.
I think you're Jessa.
Huh.
Jessa, in that just that you're very like, you're talking to people like you're not
No, I know. I don't have that awkwardness.
out.
You're kind of whimsical. You kind of like have this like confidence about how you interact with people.
I'm in that damn apartment.
You're in that damn apartment.
Wait, but this episode, you think you're most Shoshanna? Because you're like, Ray, yeah.
Well, I want to be Shoshanna in the Ray situation so bad.
Got it, yeah.
That's something I would die for to happen to me.
Yeah.
For a man to happen to you, yeah.
But like for someone to be so obsessed with my
they met you one time and they're like,
yeah,
he's so whimsical.
I haven't stopped thinking about you.
Yeah.
For being so weird though.
Yeah.
Like, that's something
okay, I see it. I see it.
And I fight and crave for.
No, yeah. I predicted that you would say that.
Yeah.
And who are you?
True.
And so today is a huge.
Can we guess?
Well, today's a huge
What's
day for me.
happy today?
Well, I told you earlier what I was going to say.
No, I don't remember.
Amelia had ego death and has now realized that her purpose in life is to save the women and girls.
Are
you Hannah?
Yeah.
You are. You are Hannah.
Yeah, in the way that Lena Dunham was like, I need to talk about what girls are doing. I, this week, realized that it's like okay to want to talk about what girls are doing.
That's beautiful.
But no, I'm Hannah in this episode because when she dances like that.
When she does the halo dance.
Oh my God.
When she does the halo dance, I was like, I've never felt more like that's how I'm interacting. The way she is talking to Jessa about her marriage is so like if my friend decided to get married too young and you're like trying to be supportive, but you're like, this is crazy. Like the way that.
It's soon.
Yeah.
I think it's soon.
And the way she's like, but I'm going to go with it. Like the way she's laying on the bathroom floor. Yeah. And she's like, well, you made the choice.
And it's such a Jessa moment too. She goes, you are so gross. Look at you. I love it. Laying on the bathroom floor.
Oh, I really am a Jessa.
Yeah.
And I think I would get married in a week.
You
absolutely would.
But the way Hannah is like, or Adam's like, this is beautiful. And Hannah's like,
I know. Yeah.
Is so funny, and she looks so cute in her little dress. And
I
also,
love her little dress.
when she like faked sick and was like, I feel allergic to something. I've been feeling allergic to something.
Oh yeah.
There's something in my throat that's allergy.
You've had throat stuff.
So I felt really like Hannah for the first time all season.
Wow. Who have you been identifying with mostly this season?
Well,
I hate to say I'm not caught up to speed.
Well, and you know what? I sensed you listened to the first episode to judge it very harshly and then not share that with me and then go ahead and not listen to the rest until you're on. And when you asked last night, can you remind me what the segments are instead of listening to an episode to find out? I got the image. I got the image.
I have to say I did know all of the segments before you sent them to me. I just wanted to be sure.
Double check.
Mm-hmm.
And if it sounds like I'm coming on too strong, I am.
This is how we show our love.
It's Marnie.
It's been Marnie.
Yeah.
It's been Marnie
I've been
the whole
listening.
time.
You've been Marnie. Yeah, you're very Marnie.
Yeah, that's actually why we work.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were in Club Penguin, you would 100% like have like a really organized house, a lot of puffles, and like be really, really good at one game, and probably the pizza game.
That's high praise.
Yeah, that's actually really.
I was actually only good at the pizza game on Webkins.
That's the same.
Okay, perfect.
I liked Pop Tropica.
Totally see that for you. What's the one that was like
Toontown?
4 cereal? Millsberry?
Millsberry.com.
Oh my god, that
loved
was
it.
Neopets? Oh,
I never really did Neopets.
I love Neopets.
Neopets, I only would, every time I went on the website, I would make a brand new account because it was the process of making a new account that was fun.
Yeah.
Wait, let's do a Webkins reveal how many Webkins we had.
Okay, well, this is going to be easy.
Go.
I don't know exactly how many I had. Probably 7 to 10.
I had 1 to get online. The white terrier.
I had 25 Webkins.
Of course. I remember once I got in trouble. I don't remember why I got in trouble. It was when I was younger, and my punishment was like no Webkins for like 6 months or something. Like no new Webkins. Like I could still play on Webkins.com.
Go to my friends' houses,
but
and
I
steal their
couldn't.
codes and then
That's
their accounts
very
and then
you.
send myself their gems.
No, what I would do is my sister's password was cake123. So I'd log into my sister's Webkins, and mind you, she had like 9 Webkins. Here I was with just 1. I was fighting for my life. So I was like, I deserve to go into her account and then mail myself couches using her skins cash. It was perfect.
No,
she never caught on because she was 5.
It's perfect. It's how I started actually stealing from stores is I would go to stores and rip the Webkins codes off and put them in my pockets.
Yeah,
I go home
fully
and
believe that
use
about
those
you.
codes.
Yeah, well, you already talked about stealing from Urban Outfitters. I mean, this is where it starts.
You know I don't shoplift. Never have.
I know. There's something about you that loves to follow the
thing
rules.
is, Hannah would shoplift.
I know. That's why I said Marnie wouldn't.
Yeah.
Marnie would if she's trying to be free.
Yeah, Marnie would like never shoplift and then all of a sudden decide, and then she's like stealing
the most
iPhones.
Yeah, but she would never get caught because she's a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
So for season 2, we're actually going to change up the segments a little bit. So any feedback that you guys might have about our current segments, we're going to definitely tweet Code O'Clock, I think. And definitely Girl, What Girl Are You? That's a definite. Then everything else is kind of up for grabs.
Yeah, no, please. Our Instagram's at HBO Girls Rewatch. If you want to DM us any notes or like things you'd like to see in the new season, we're
so open.
We're going to be switching things up, and we'd love to hear directly from you what the hell you'd want. But for now, we are doing I'm liking this part right here.
That shot when they're going down the stairs with all the furniture and like Adam's holding the mattress behind him and kind of holding the chair in front of him, and like the girls are like kind of leading, but they're like making a lot out of it, and Adam's like, I'll just do it, just go. I really related to that because
you're famously a furniture man.
I'm famously furniture man, and I'm famously like anytime like my brother or sister, anyone in my family like moves or any furniture needs to be rearranged, I'm always the one who just like does it, and my family gets mad or they don't get mad, but like I'll just like
You're so aware of them listening?
No, I'll just like get so like annoyed with like everyone trying to like do this or like make it work or pivot or blah 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 that I'll just be like, I'll do it. And so I just like literally like Hulk out and just like move a chair upstairs or just like random stuff.
Totally.
And that doesn't sound
anger
good.
Strengthen you?
Yeah, totally. It's like when it's Hulk.
You're right
it's Hulk. Yeah. It's like when a mom, like when a baby gets pinned under a car and a mom gets like a rush of adrenaline and she can just lift the car.
Oh my God.
That's kind of
we should do
how I am.
Which did
Girl, what car are you lifting?
When Jean Valjean lifts the car and then gets caught. God, that part of Les Mis kills me.
There's cars in Les Mis?
Cut that.
No, the
horse.
carriage.
Oh.
And then because he wants to save like the girl that's stuck, but now they know he's strong, and so they go after him. Javert.
I don't remember this, honestly.
I don't remember that part.
I just remember Anne Hathaway.
I just thought kind of for the initial motion of the entire episode to be these three people moving from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen and downwards. It shows that like after all of this that they've gone through in this whole season, they're still moving backwards and downwards. And none of them are really kind of doing well by the end of the episode. Except I kind of think Marnie wins the episode. We can get to that later.
I think Hannah's doing awesome.
Well,
and I'll get into that.
Okay, we'll discuss.
I really don't see it that way.
Okay, so my favorite part of this episode was definitely me scrolling through to decide right now.
Do you want me?
My favorite part of the episode was the speech when they're like, this is a wedding, and then Jessa and old Thomas John, Chris O'Dowd, who I don't even want to remember Chris O'Dowd. I'm like, Guy from Bridesmaids.
Right.
When Guy from Bridesmaids talks about meeting Jessa and then Jessa talks about meeting them, and it's like their speeches that are beautiful to each other. It's so funny because they're making fun of like all people who get married, and their speeches are always like, I hated him, or like, he sexually assaulted me and then I said sure, like, you know, it's like poking fun at that idea of that like half the weddings and half the people getting married like actually hate each other,
right?
And it's just being so obvious and hilarious about it, and the way Jess is acting and the way Chris is acting is so funny.
It's manic.
Yeah,
it's so manic.
No, I was totally thinking that. I mean, Chris O'Dowd just does like a great job at playing just like this kind of like idiot, like financy bro who just kind of like goes with it.
No, jury duty.
Yeah,
you could get him on jury duty.
He's jury duty for sure. But I think like Jessa in this episode, it's like when you realize the kind of like, this is, I don't know, I didn't rewatch the whole season before I watched this episode, but it's like
Catherine Hahn in the last episode talked to her.
Right.
And that is the A to B.
Right.
It's like Catherine Hahn spooked her, and now she's marrying Chris O'Dowd, and I blame Catherine.
And like,
to analyze Jessa this episode.
This is really so like I don't know, it just shows like the desperation of Jessa's character that she really wants to hide, that she like doesn't want to think is there. Like she wants to be like so
free
and just like doing whatever she wants and this and that. But it's like, I don't know, this like wedding just feels so clear that like she has no clue what she is doing either. And she is also looking for some sort of like meaning or something.
Yeah.
And, like,
or
attention.
some like outwardly like sign that she's following the steps.
Yeah. And it's like this weird thing where it's like, because it feels like such a like boho like wedding that's like an alternative wedding, like blah, blah, blah. But it feels like she's still like playing the part of a girl who's having an alternative wedding. Like none of it feels
organic,
authentic to like what she actually wants. It all feels like how she can perform this like lackadaisical, like, I don't care, like, oh yeah, we're just throwing this like crazy wedding, even down to like right at the end, like her stupid veil and her short dress, and then like after they say their vows, it like breaks out into like girl rap music, and it's like, you don't actually like this song, you don't want, you know what I mean? It's like she doesn't care about that song, she doesn't actually want that song to be playing at her wedding, but she wants to be the girl who her vows end and all of a sudden rap music is playing and it turns into a party. You know what I mean?
No, like, literally, like the way she's like, I don't even know if I'm boho girl, so I'm gonna double down on it and hope that I'm putting on a good show for it.
Yeah, and it's like she like does this like, has this like sense of like being like so confessional and so real and just like saying exactly what she means, but it all feels so performative and like so calculated.
It's so like, I feel like if you think about like what that looks like now, it's like when TikTok like started popping off, and then it was like all these people were going viral because they're so authentic.
Right.
And then they had to create this sense of authenticity on these like videos. So it's like them being like overly confessional and like overly like trying to be so organic, like in their car or whatever. Meanwhile, it's so like calculated.
Like how every like TikTok video of like someone talking now, it's like
get ready with me.
Or it's like a get ready with me, or it's like they'll be like, So they'll like take a bite after the first 3 words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way that's
Yeah,
like, how many
it's like,
bites have you
oh
taken
my
trying to
God.
shoot this? You know what I mean? Or
You
they're
ate
like,
3 meals.
I'm making my coffee as I'm filming this video because I just thought about it. But it's like, you've made 6 cups of coffee trying to like get the right angle to make this video that you scripted in your head.
Well, someone did it one
Literally.
time and it did well, and now everyone has
Yeah,
to do it
exactly.
for all time.
And it's just like, you need to like be doing things in the shot to keep
Well, marriage
anyone's
is a
attention.
performance.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
everything is a performance. We're trying to, and especially as we like are trying to captive. Again, it's like in that example, people are trying to allure you in with just the act of just doing something so normal. Like
Right.
marriage is something so normal, but actually
Mhm.
it's such a performance.
Yeah. And it's like,
Everything's a
and that's the thing.
performance.
It's like Jessa, I mean, we don't know, but like maybe Jessa really does want to like be married and
Yeah,
like
she-
have a
of course she
wedding.
does.
But she's like,
No.
put herself into this corner where she has to be the boho girl. She has to be the one who doesn't do anything.
So she's like,
So
I'm gonna
she's
do
just
the
like,
wedding like boho.
yeah,
There's
I'm gonna
also,
do it, and
like-
I don't care about
She
it.
wants to be married
Actually,
more than anything.
Well,
yeah.
And she also wants to be divorced more than
I
anything.
don't
Right.
think she wants to be married.
I 100% think she
The
wants
way
to be
Catherine Hahn was like, you need to decide what you want. She got so scared by that because she thought about it for like 1 second. And she was like, I'm going to take the path of least like critical reflection of self.
Right.
And go ahead and marry some guy. And that's why she marries this guy that we saw in a previous episode. She literally hates, does not respect, finds so boring, like literally doesn't even kind of like. So it like highlights the fact that like she's making this choice not because she kind of likes this guy and is like, sure. It's like, I am so scared to think for myself and make a choice about who I am
Right.
outside of like these setup things. So I'm just going to choose this, which like is so relatable. Like, in high school, I was like, I guess I'm just gonna like marry some
Right.
dude and raise a family in Texas, even though that sounds awful.
And it's like because of like the cultural value that we place on the institution of marriage, especially
Mhm.
10 years ago. Like, Jessa is doing like one of the most like crazy and like least thought through things of anyone has done this whole season, any of the girls has done. But because it's like marriage, she gets to also be like holier than thou. And like she's figured it out. And she's
Yeah.
like blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I have like when she's in the bathroom with Hannah, she's like, I have never been happier. Like,
And it's
and
like,
it's like,
I feel like
see,
an
I figured it
adult.
out. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you're doing like the most childish thing you can do, which is like make this spontaneous life decision without thinking through any other repercussions.
But
But you get
Hannah's
to-
like, do you feel like an adult? And she's like,
I do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also feel like an adult. I mean, that's such an because the reason she like fell in love with him is because he explains what a venture capitalist is,
Right.
and it's like it's something so beautiful I never really noticed before.
It sounds like an explorer.
Well, yeah, exactly. Last episode she talked about the exploration phase, and this one it's like, what was it? I don't know what the exact quote was, but it's like it was so beautiful for her to have this explanation of being a venture capitalist. 'Cause
Right.
It sounds like such a mature. Like if anyone in finance has ever talked to you, they're using such like language that's like is literally going back to yours weaponization.
Going back to yours.
Weapon-
Last
Weaponry.
episode she said weaponry. Yeah, weaponry.
Weaponry.
Of language.
is weaponry not a word?
Well, it is, but not in the
weaponization.
context.
Weaponry?
I use in, yeah, but I was thinking about it later. I was like, that still is a word though.
It is like
Weaponry?
weaponry,
Oh, maybe,
Like in a
yeah.
text-
but
Textbook?
not in the context you used it.
But I used it in the diction and syntax was off.
Anyway, but it's like the words are so like it's just so it's like you're so easily impressed because the words sound complicated, but in
Right.
actuality it's like something so simple as someone just like investing into like startups that
Right.
change the world, but like they don't actually ever do that and they all fail and it's so egotistical based. And it's
Right.
like because it's finance and sounds so complicated and so mature, it's like look at me, I'm filling this role of a wife. Like being a wife is something I think she 100% wants to be. I don't know if she wants to get married, but she wants to be a wife in the sense that it's like she likes the idea of being taken care of. She likes the idea, but she
Right.
also hates that. But I think she thinks that she likes being taken care of and like being held like a man's captivation is singularly on her. She loves that idea. And it's played out so much throughout the season.
Yeah, and she really does like want to be married and she wants all of that, but I think like one of like the genius things about the Jessa character is that like it almost seems like by choosing this guy to marry, by choosing Thomas John, like she's like built in her own escape hatch because like when she knows deep down like she's not gonna be married to him for the rest of her life, but like because he's Thomas John, because he's the goofy guy who wanted a threesome, like when it eventually doesn't work out, she can be like, oh, I was never gonna stay with him. Like it would like she can just like write it off as a joke. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Even though like she
And
probably
he's
deep down
rich,
wants
so
it.
she can get money.
Yeah, and she's a girl who wants a rich lifestyle but wants to act like she's a boho girl.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
boho is actually famously the wealthiest.
Right.
of all lifestyles.
Bohemian.
that was really good.
It is. You see all those girls that are like wear like the free people, but or like there's what's that brand? It's this one brand. It's like whatever, but it's like $500 a piece, and it's like some like tattered up overalls. With,
What's
like,
that like Christian girl brand?
Yeah, exactly. I always
Do you know what
see-
it's called?
Altered State.
Altered State.
Oh my god.
Don't talk to me about Altered State.
Oh, you threw down some racks in Altered State back in the day.
Altered State, I actually tweeted about this one time, but it's literally this shop in Texas where it's like slutty Christian wear.
They got them all over.
Okay, well, they figured out how to make Christian clothing be so sexy.
I
It's
have to
so
look it
cool,
up.
but you can't be mad at it. It's like the
altered with an
deepest
A.
V-necks. It's so southern. I used to love to shop there.
Is it boho?
I don't
like-
know.
I don't know what it is now. It's probably like gone like Rhinestone, Nashville now.
No, it's not even the one I was thinking about. But yeah, it's so interesting. It's
Yeah.
such a, well, I mean, it is. It's like performative homelessness, and then, you know,
Right.
we also have to remember that 2012 we're coming off of a recession, and you saw during recessions you have a lot of like hobo aesthetics. Like this was filmed in 2011,
Right.
written in like 2010, 2011. So like the aesthetic of being homeless is really popular during recessions because people like to cosplay poverty, especially during
Yeah.
those times.
Do you remember how iCarly was obsessed with the word hobo?
Oh my god, obsessed.
Oh my god.
They said hobo so much.
They really wanted us
in
to
a way
be
like
saying
you would
that.
never. I mean,
It's-
hobo's kind of out of the lexicon
Yeah.
fully.
Nobody is talking in that way.
It's a Jerry Seinfeld funny word though, and that's what they like.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I can just picture Miranda Costco being like, hobo!
Oh, there's a hobo.
There's a hobo in my toast. It's like something. So
Yeah.
stupid.
It's
It's
like,
like
can we be normal?
It's like
Eat your big
you're being
beans.
victimized by Nickelodeon.
And yet she continues. Jeanette
Yeah.
Jeanette couldn't convince her otherwise.
Paramount Plus.
That's for another podcast.
That's our next rewatch.
iCarly reboot rewatch. I'm starting my.
Period. What was your favorite party episode, Evan?
I was thinking about this. I really like the scene before Adam Driver gets hit by the car, or even including the car, because I think the conversation is very interesting. Where it's like
It's an amazing way to
Oh, yeah.
heighten the scene.
it's an amazing way to
To
hide
go
the
ahead and
scene.
like button it with him fully getting hit by a car.
Well,
Right.
100%. But it's like I think the conversation being like, because you're 11 pounds overweight, and you know
I'm
that's a
13
you know,
pounds
struggle.
overweight, and
Yeah.
it has been the
it's
struggle
been
of my
hell
life.
every day. It's like, yeah, girl.
Yeah, girl.
Well, it's so interesting. Or it's like I'm not just scared. I'm more scared than everyone else, and I think we all, at least I feel this way, where it's like I think my emotions are so much more heightened than anyone else because I think there's no full way to ever describe an emotion to someone because you can't describe an emotion and the person automatically feels it. So it's impossible for anyone to ever understand emotion fully. Like words, art can only do
Right.
so much of an image, and like maybe you are so chosen that you can feel an exact energy from art, but I think it's near impossible. Words will never be enough to actually feel something. So I think
As-
it's impossible to ever
As
feel
dear Evan
like,
Hansen once said, words fail.
Words fail. And they do. No, I was
"Oh,
thinking.
No, thank you for doing that. I'm trying to be analytical, and you brought dear Evan Hansen into this, and you know that's one of my triggers.
No, I was thinking about this scene too because I think this is also like where the character of Adam starts to feel so hollow to me too, of like, because he like has this like righteous moment where he's like, you've never felt struggle, and he always does this to Hannah. He's like, you don't know anything, you've never felt struggle, you act like you're so put upon, blah blah blah. But then he's the exact same way. He doesn't
pisses
know
me off.
struggle.
His
He pisses
grandma's
me- his grandma's bankrolling him. Like he doesn't have an especially hard life either. Like but he like, and I think it was like a type of masculinity that was a little different back then. That I don't know. Like he just has this like sense of just like, he's like, you don't know what you're doing and blah blah blah, and it's just like all of this way of talking to her that like feels so like righteous, and like I think if you're not paying a lot of attention can feel so like true, or like he's just telling her the truth when actually he is.
No,
Like Hannah was
He's going
right.
through
Hannah was right.
emotions.
He's scared too.
Yeah.
And he's acting like he's not because that's his defense mechanism.
and he's yelling
like,
at her for not succumbing to
right.
whatever emotion he's ready to have now.
And he's in this like prison of masculinity.
Well,
Ugh.
all men
That,
think
like-
they're more scared than women because they have no idea how to process their emotions.
Right. And
Well,
earlier in the
I
episode,
think he knows how to process emotions
No.
better than me.
You don't have them. We can't talk about that. It's we don't have 4 hours.
but like I was thinking also like earlier in the episode, right after Marnie leaves and Hannah and Adam are back in the apartment, and Hannah like feels bad about it because she had this huge thing happen in her life with her best friendship that blew up, and Adam's just like, I even wrote down what he said. He
Well,
says
exactly.
He's like, don't worry about it. He says you're forming yourself every time you shed a layer, which is like
so annoying.
Again, this masculine idea that like
you're not
you only become yourself through like violence or like reducing yourself.
Yeah,
or, like,
she's like, I feel guilty, and he's like, no, you should just be like, fuck.
Right, exactly.
Man.
She's like, I feel bad. This is making me feel bad. And he's like, you shouldn't. And he thinks he's smart because he says like, you just shouldn't feel emotions. Let's go have sex. When it's like the girl you claim to love is telling you how she feels about one of the biggest relationships in her life crumbling all of a sudden. And like you are nagging her about it. And you're telling her that like every time something bad happens to her, she's becoming more herself, which is just like, I hate that idea that like anyone has like a true self at the core. It's like you're always yourself.
Have you ever met anyone that's a true self?
No.
They're actually, if you have met them and they say they are, they're actually one of the most annoying people you've ever talked to.
And
Right.
it's all a facade.
It's all a
Yeah.
facade.
And it's just like this masculine idea that we have to be like brutalized into becoming the person that we are. Like we have to go through all
It's
this
Cadet
noble
Kelly.
struggle. It's Cadet Kelly. It's like we don't have to go through like noble struggle to like become who we are. Like we can just like grow.
Sorry, it literally
It is Cadet Kelly.
It's Cadet Kelly.
It's Cadet Kelly.
US military.
Don't get me started on that.
Oh my god.
Oh, I wish we had gotten ribbons for the last episode of the season.
Was dressing in white not enough?
Oh yeah, we're all just in
Friday,
white. Am I
I was
allowed to be
freaking
looking
out.
at the camera?
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
I always say it's
But
Fleabag.
on Friday, I was being like, I feel emotions more intensely than everyone's ever existed. That's all I said on Friday, 400 times.
I know. I texted Charlie. I was like, Evan's realizing things.
That's why I had to go home.
Evan's realizing emotions.
Well,
tonight.
I still do think I feel emotions more
No,
than most
that is
people.
famously an ADHD thing where you feel rejection
Oh, yeah.
more intensely than the average human.
No, it is.
My
I
sister
said
taught me that.
I thought I taught you that. Oh.
No.
Well,
You
it is
reminded
true.
me.
I just feel rejection so intensely.
And
And
I
it's so
reject
quick,
before I
though.
can be rejected.
Like,
Yeah.
for the most
Duh.
part. it's
Boy.
so
Life
quick.
hack, guys.
No,
Just
but
reject them first. Hello.
I'm not scared of rejection, but I hate the feeling of it, which is insane.
Oh.
It's like I'll put myself out there, and then I guess maybe not enough. The whole segment is talking about Hannah's body being how she is externally affected. Like Amelia, you were talking about earlier, how it's like you like this show because it's finally giving a voice to girls that are not traditionally as pretty to actually speak about issues. And I mean,
Literally, because
that's
it's
kinda
like
the
all
whole
we had was
thesis.
One Tree Hill. Like everybody was size 0, and it was just like not spoken about. To be a girl was to be small. Like there wasn't other options. And she went ahead and was like,
well, it goes
I
back to
exist
the,
and I'm actually
yeah,
a person, and I'm gonna
Right.
and I'm gonna talk about life.
And like, I feel like that exchange that like you're 11 pounds overweight, I'm 13 pounds overweight, and my life has been hell. Like that is just like such a like, it's a key to unlocking like exactly who both of those characters are.
Yeah.
And it's also like such a wink from Lana, like to Lana.
The first-
Lena.
Yeah,
It's such a
funny.
wink
Not
from
Lana.
And Lana,
and Lana,
honestly.
but it's such a wink to Lana. Why do I keep saying it? It's such a wink
Yeah.
from Lena Dunham to like the audience because
Well, the
like
first line of the whole damn show.
I
Right.
mean, and let's not forget that
The first
almost
scene.
every single conversation had about girls for the entire first year it came out was like, did you know a woman that's not size 0
Yeah.
has sex?
right, and it's
Like-
like the further and further we get away from it, it's like she was a
She was
small woman.
mid-sized.
She
But
was
literally, when it
mid-sized.
came out, everybody was like, "This obese woman's
Right,
fucking on
exactly.
TV," and it's like she's winking to the viewer, like,
She's like, yeah, I know.
"I'm
Well-
11 pounds over." Like,
But then
Right.
Adam's like, you don't think you're pretty. You don't think you're smart. Well, you know what? You are pretty. You are smart. You
Mm.
are talented. It's like so powerful that he gets hit by a car and then carried away.
Mhm.
Such an insane punctuation. Like from Amanda is so extreme to have such an insane punctuation as his exit from the season and theoretically even from the whole show
Mm.
that he's being pulled away in an ambulance. Like that is what it's just so interesting that someone his broken heart is also kind of visualized.
yeah.
Right, and he's immediately punished for what he's like for that exchange. Like he's
Yeah.
punished by the universe, and then it goes to the ambulance, and he won't let her in. He's still yelling at her because he's just like he's so
It's
caught up
like-
in this. He is in a prison of his own
But-
creation.
It's like when
Yeah.
it's like when
This woman
Elijah
who
and Marnie slap, and they're like, "Okay, the conversation's over now." It's like he had the slap, and then he's like, "The conversation's still going because I'm not gonna like let this sit. I
Right.
have to fight it out."
Right. I also love just like whenever someone's in the street in a show, they're gonna get hit by a car.
I know. Or like anytime there's a car scene, I'm like, can there not be a crash? And it's like a sitcom for kids.
Totally.
I'm like, why am I stressed?
The famous Quinn Fabray when she gets hit on the way to the wedding.
Oh, I don't really remember Glee much.
Maybe I'll do that.
Viewers, listeners, write in.
I hear something.
Oh God, what is that noise?
It's
oh my God.
Put it on damn
you know what I think
vibrate.
it is? I think it's
quote o'clock. I wore white.
I also wrote that down. I wore white. I had no way of knowing.
Oh, I love when Adam walks in and can't get into the wedding and he just yells up at Hannah. She's being very elitist and cruel. It's like, get over yourself.
He goes, my name was on that sheet of paper. And he looks up at her and goes, you look very beautiful. I hated that.
The quote where Lena is trying to get out of work, which is like, my throat just feels kind of allergic and scratchy. It's just hotness.
Yeah. Expired Mylanta.
Yeah. We both Googled
you're gonna
it.
get sick and you don't.
Yeah.
You're about to get sick.
Because it is like every time your throat hurts, you're just like, I feel allergic to something. Like that is how people talk.
I like when Elijah and Marnie run into each other at the wedding. Marnie goes, hi, Elijah. He goes, hi, J-Lo at the Grammys. Because she's wearing that stupid dress and her hair. So.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. She
does look like J-Lo at the Grammys.
You know, she created Google Images in that fucking dress.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm Marnie in that way.
And Marnie goes, this is actually very you-coded as Marnie. She just goes to him, I hope you find what you're looking for. And then walks away.
So powerful.
And then for Elijah now to be replacing Marnie in the housing situation.
Right.
You know what? Poetic justice comes. And let's just say that.
Wait, that's so true. That whole scene is like a shift. It's an exchange. Yeah. Changing of the guard.
No, it's changing of the guard. Elijah is now being Marnie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that episode.
It's like all of these people who like hate Hannah Horvath, but for some reason choose to like keep.
They don't hate her.
They do
love
hate
their
her.
Friend.
Yeah, but don't you hate all your friends? I don't.
Only you.
Now, I knew having Evan and Charlie and me all do a podcast episode together was going to cause problems, but I was hoping they'd happen post-wrapping, post-record, for them to happen live on the air.
There's so much anger in my heart. But my therapist told me today when I have anger, it's very well padded, which is a really good thing.
I have raw anger. It's the only emotion I know about.
I have a lot of raw anger at the core that I can't access until I really have to. And that's when I Hulk out.
Yeah, you guys are
I've never seen you Hulk out except when you said that one mean thing to me and it felt awesome.
What did I say?
You need new talking points.
Oh, that was funny.
No, it was like, you're so fed up.
Well, it's because you were so deep in your antidepressant. Now you're talking new again.
There was like
You are talking new.
There was like
2 months. You were saying the same 3 sentences over and over again.
I'm tired of being a girl boss. That was when you said that like for the 60th time. I was like,
I'm just a girl!
You need new talking points.
In conclusion.
And it's like, what happened to Lena Dunham in the media is what's happening to me right now in front of my friends. And it's like being friends with not girls is a prison of its own.
I love that we've got the full gender spectrum.
Yeah.
I
represented.
think it's really beautiful for you to be like, not girls.
Not girls.
I briefly wanted to mention that we haven't seen Shoshanna do anything clever or witty this whole season, but when she makes a sarcastic comment at Marnie, I about died.
I love that. I almost wrote that down.
She was like, Marnie was like, I'm actually in a really great place in my life. And then Shoshanna out of nowhere is just like, totally, everything you own is in trash bags in my kitchen.
Yes, I love that. It was so good.
I about died. I was like, Shosh, you went there, girl.
Right.
It's such a snippet to what's to come.
And that's just like, yeah, and it's like such the Shoshanna
it's
character.
Foreshadowing
yeah.
when Shoshanna's done.
Like Shoshanna is the only one who has ever seen through any of this.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Her being so pissed about the wedding. It's perfect.
Right. It's
so
like, good.
How dare my cousin get
And
married?
she kisses a girdle, and or what is it?
Oh, yeah.
Her face is just like.
That's the other thing we didn't talk about with Jessa. Like at the end of the vows, when she's like, is it time to pull off the garter yet?
Yeah, the garter.
I love her Jessa accent, by the way. And she's like, oh, come on. And like rips off her own garter belt. And it's just like.
And throws it at Marnie. And Marnie's just like.
No,
and it's just like this like.
Oh.
The flowers.
Yeah. It's like this calculated.
And she's so upset.
Spontaneity.
Yeah,
That's just like so Jessa. It's just like so. I don't know. It just feels
violent.
so accurate.
It felt so painful to watch. I was like, this girl is going through something.
Like she's
so right
lost.
She's so lost. Bobby Moynihan being in this episode, hilarious.
I love that so much. I get what Marnie's seeing. And
You crush on Bob?
I don't crush, but I see how in the moment you could. I love when Marnie's like cracking up at all of his jokes about the cake. She's like been in this relationship her whole adulthood. What? Why are you laughing at me? You're also mad at me.
No, it's not about you, actually.
It's like this moment where Marnie has like been in had this relationship her whole adult life, and she's like, it's like been her entire sexual experience. It's been everything for her, and she's like so caught up in it.
Didn't
and
she
now,
fuck somebody in high school?
yeah, but like generally,
Yeah,
like this is what for most of her life has been. And then like all of a sudden, she's like
surprised by how early she loses her virginity.
Before Jessa. When
Before
Marnie
Jessa.
finds out
Right.
she lost her virginity before Jessa and was like, damn.
but she's like finally just like free of it, and now she's just like she's like doing something
Well,
kind
it's
of
because
Charlie
it's the
sequence,
whole
too.
like
yeah, because
it's the whole
Charlie makes her horny.
Marnie, Charlie being like, are we still gonna do that thing where we like broke up, but we're still gonna have a thing and like do something dumb? And then Marnie is like, no.
No, everyone lets it tease Marnie. No, and no other character in the show are people teasing him.
Yeah.
Like Marnie is getting teased by men, like this, like fake performative flirtation, like with the art guy.
Totally.
In episode
Oh yeah,
2 or
Yorma.
3.
Well, is it fake
Or-
flirting or real?
No, it's real flirting, but it's so like everyone's like performing it at her.
Right.
It's because she is such like the most conventionally attractive out of the four of them, or like and not Jessa, which is so guarded.
Yeah.
Where it's like people can, I feel like they want to tease really hot people.
Yeah.
And like feel like they have the upper hand, because then I think in a lot of situations with really hot people like they already are starting out as a disadvantage, so they do whatever they can. I think
Right.
sometimes in those situations to feel like they can get the upper hand.
And like when someone like that does present as having their life really together and like being all
Yes.
buttoned up, like it for some reason like
It's so
it like
upsetting.
opens you up to being like ridiculed and like being so made fun of
Like
by
I
all of your
want to
friends.
throw a rock.
Oh my god! During Jessa's speech, Adam's eyes twitch because he's being so moved.
Oh yeah.
Like the way his eye is fully twitching, amazing acting. And then Hannah's like, huh? Like Adam's just like, this is so powerful. And then Hannah's like, please. And then time is a rubber band. Your dreams are not what you thought they'd be.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I wrote that down.
Yeah, like when Adam's talking to, when Hannah's like, they just met. Adam's like, time's a rubber band.
Right.
That was beautiful. Well, I think also going back to Adam, it's like, Jesus Christ, kid, save your strength. We're in it for a long haul.
And that's again.
And then Hannah gets scared, so she hides her face in her chest.
But
Girls
this is why
love to
people,
do that.
No, exactly. This is why people like Adam Driver. It's because he says stuff like that and he's like big.
But that's again, it's like Adam Driver, or what his name's Adam in the show. Like he's like hiding this immaturity behind this like guy facade of like hyper maturity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
Where
this
it's
like
like-
very emotionally intelligent guy.
Right. And it's like, no,
You're
like
intellectualizing your feelings.
the girl you claim to love is having like real thoughts about how relationships look and work, and you're like just like speaking down to her about it and like
Mhm.
acting like you know everything.
So belittling.
It's
I
so
can't
belittling.
stand him.
It is belittling, but I think it's also in a sense where it's like, I think people feel very comforted by this. Like
Yeah.
it feels very protective. It's like, it's also, he uses
Yeah.
the word kid a lot towards her,
They
which
always
is
call their
like,
kid.
I think a lot of people like enjoyed a sense of like in a relationship, they don't have to necessarily take full
Right.
control. And like Adam is making the direction. Like I think a lot of us have decision. Like my friend made one decision today, like where to sit. And they're like, sorry, am I being a literal dictator? Because they literally were like, can we sit at this table instead?
Right.
It's like, am I being a literal dictator? And I felt so bad about it. And it's like really insane I think it's really hard for a lot of people to make decisions. Either you're so good at it or so like laissez-faire, because we really have people that make decisions and don't. That's the whole concept of leadership.
Okay, I love when Shosh is like, are you punking me?
Are you
Oh my
fucking-
god, I love that.
Oh, and she says, my aunt says it feels like scratching a sunburn.
Sunburn.
Yeah. It's like, oh. That's also so Shoshanna. It's like, of course her aunt was telling her about sex
Right.
and said that.
And that, you know, that's something she probably heard when she was like 12 years old,
And
like
really
and
kept
sitting
it
in
in
the
her
kitchen,
mind.
and like that is locked up in her mind about like what sex is and how it feels.
Literally.
My last quote that I have is when Hannah gets off the train at the very end,
Oh my
and she
God,
like
yes,
yells
I was
across.
saying this.
She's like, "Where am I?" And the girl's like, "You're in heaven. You're in heaven." And
It's
then
so New York.
right at the end, one of them goes, "Does she have a green belt on, or am I tweaking?"
I love that.
I love that.
When
Because
Hannah
it's like
ends
the
up
green
the
belt.
last sentence too. of the season.
Yeah, it's the last spoken season. And the Greenbelt is the star of the episode. Oh, and I love when Hannah walks up to the wedding. She's like, hey, party time. My shoes match my dress. Kinda.
I literally love Hannah in this episode.
I love Hannah in this episode.
Entire episode, I was just like, wow, she actually has an amazing personality.
Yeah, she's super endearing in this episode.
No one's talking about how fun she is. She's so fun and sweet.
She's so fun and sweet. And she's lying on the ground in the bathroom.
This is a really winning episode for Hannah.
Yeah, I was like, I like this crazy girl.
Totally.
Also, when she walks like Coney Island, eats the cake, that is so me coded. When I lived in LA, anytime I like went to a party, the next day I would just like hungoverly like go to the beach so I didn't have to like, because of anxiety.
You eat cake?
I would like get like something weird from Erewhon and then like, yeah. I think
Would you eat it weird?
I literally think I've bought like a slice of like red velvet cake from Erewhon, walk to the Santa Monica like Pier and just like ate cake. Literally, it's always on season there.
My 4th year of college, when I was like living there, but it was all COVID, so all the classes were online, like basically like, there was nothing to do. So basically like every morning I would just like go and get a bagel from this place called Bodo's and then drive in my little Prius to like into the mountains of central Virginia. And there's this little like lake at the top of a mountain called Beaver Creek. And
I ski there.
Different Beaver Creek. And I would there was just like a parking lot and you would just like go sit at the water and like be with yourself.
Would people kiss there?
No, it was like a very hidden thing.
It wasn't Kissing Edge.
It wasn't Boston Pants when Tina Fey makes out on the cliff.
No, it wasn't Old Rag. But it was like kind of like what did you say?
So amazing to remember Old Rag.
Well, I'm from there.
How is that?
It's in Virginia.
That chapter of Tina Fey's book is Charlie's entire college.
Yeah.
Did you go to UVA?
Yeah.
I thought you went to Northwestern.
No, baby.
That's Louis
That's Seth
Dreyfus.
Meyers you're thinking of.
And Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
But
please.
But anyways,
the son went there and sex lights of college girls. The tall guy,
Charlie Hall.
Oh yeah.
Charlie Hall.
He played on their basketball team too at Northwestern.
Yeah, he lived on the same floor as my cousin.
They hook up.
No. She met her future husband, the last semester.
Perfect.
And we like to say they were both reaching for the brisket at Hillel.
That has nothing to do with it. Wait, but yeah, let's talk about that last scene.
The last scene is so me living alone in LA.
Yeah.
Like that entire scene is what it felt like to live in LA during the pandemic.
Well, she knows the experience of being like having emotions and not fully understanding how the words to process it and like trying to be an emotionally intelligent adolescent. Like she's so good at describing it. Like adolescents always are describing. We're always doing when we have emotions. We're gonna be smart about it and we act in the weirdest ways possible. That like we're not harming anyone. And we're not necessarily being like bad, but it's like we're doing weird things to compensate for the awkwardness inside our bodies.
My entire experience on that coast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it felt like very real to just like need to like go to the water and like whatever.
Literally, or to be like, I'm in Coney Island, well, I'm gonna walk around instead of trying to go to my house.
Exactly.
Like, that's so like, oh, I lost my purse. Instead of stressing out about that, I'm gonna take a long solo walk and look at the ocean.
Right.
That's
and it's like for
Hannah
Horvath, like the queen of the freak out, the queen of anxiety, the queen of being scared, for her to like wake up without her purse somewhere she doesn't know where she is and not to freak out and to just like go with it and like go eat her cake and make a morning of it or whatever.
That's why her mom cut her off.
That's why her mom cut her off, right? Like that is like such a specific moment of character growth and development. And it's like
the perfect
it's not really
way
in
to
any
end the season.
Right. It's not in any like specific direction, but it's just like she is changing. She's approaching things differently. And it's because of all these crazy things that have happened to her and just like how her life is developing.
Do you think the show could have ended here? Like, I mean, obviously it shouldn't have, but do you think it could have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone's stories are wrapped up pretty nicely. I also caught an Easter egg, which is when she is walking through Coney Island, like the shot where she's like, it's a shot from her from really afar. So she looks really small.
She's walking down the thing.
And she's walking next to the cyclone. She's under a sign that says furniture. And I was like, she's tiny furniture. Tiny furniture.
Oh my God. That is so
Is that
fun.
real?
Letterboxd.
Wait, tiny furniture.
3.5 stars.
TikTok. Make sure this is really good. This is a perfect TikTok.
Okay, yeah.
You should post on TikTok all of Tiny Furniture in like 90-second
In
clips
90-second clips.
with gameplay underneath.
Perfect. Okay, we need to
We need to
close
wrap,
out with our last.
We're not gonna have light in the next.
Our
10
last,
minutes.
yeah, we're losing light. So last segment, that outfit.
In Brooklyn.
That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen.
No one would be belting a dress the way Hannah belts a dress.
No one would be belting a dress.
None of the clothes would be worn. I love Ray's blue puffy tuxedo shirt. I also think Charlie looks
So
really hot in his
Charlie
skinny
looks
suit.
hot in his suit.
And Adam's whole getup, I think, is great and really on the nose for like Brooklyn hipsters.
Fuck,
10 years
marry,
ago.
kill, Ray, Adam, Charlie.
Wait, I would.
Fuck Adam, marry Charlie, kill Ray.
No, I'm not with you on that. I would probably fuck Charlie,
Make
marry
a
Ray,
fucking choice.
You're
kill
gonna marry Ray.
Adam.
You're gonna
We're gonna
kill Adam, marry Charlie, fuck Ray.
Kill Adam, fuck Charlie, marry Ray.
You would marry Charlie.
I think it'd be fun to hook up with someone with my own name.
Fuck
too.
Ray. and
But I wouldn't
kill
want to
Adam,
marry
or
someone with
fuck
my own
Adam.
name.
I'd fuck Adam, kill Ray.
Yeah, exactly. We're.
It's like he's hot. Like I would fuck Adam.
I wouldn't want to marry Charlie.
But I'd want to fucking kill Ray. Like that would be satisfying. Whereas like killing Adam wouldn't really be that.
no,
satisfying.
to date a guy
I think it would
does
be
a tech startup and then does cocaine. It's like, I want to marry that.
I
I
just
know.
liked him in the suit. That was hot.
I thought he looked great in the suit.
Ray, every time he opens his mouth, I want to see him suffocate.
I like him, unfortunately.
I think you could
Hated
fuck
him
him
in
if you have the
Tiny
right.
Furniture
If there's a
Kid.
right tension with Ray, it'd be an amazing fuck because it's like I want that anger and like that crazy little bazaza.
Right.
It's like so fun for to have that in a sexual setting one time. But if I'm not having it with Ray, I'm gonna fuck Adam.
I just think like Adam is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Perfect.
Adam is a immature, like ticking time bomb, and I think that Charlie is really boring and sad. And I think
I don't think
I
he's
think
actually as boring
I
as you
think
think he is.
Well, that's why I'm saying I think. And
He's
I
Sanford and Sons. Of course, I'm marrying him.
think Ray is the only one who knows
Oh
himself.
my god, can you imagine how cute the kids would
And
be?
sometimes it's better not to know yourself. Or if you know that much about yourself, you should go ahead and make those changes.
Don't you think Ray and I would be cute like Brooklyn dads? He's a little older than me.
I can't stand that man.
Okay, can I do my favorite quote?
Okay.
I thought we
We're,
moved on.
we're past the
sorry.
quotes.
That outfit in Brooklyn.
I forgot to say, Kiki time. Is it me or is that just adorable? We're more.
Oh, yes. I love when she finds Bobby Moynihan adorable.
Kiki time. It's like
I'm marrying Bobby Moynihan.
Ah,
Shosh's dress
Shosh.
wouldn't happen anymore.
No,
especially with those
never wear
shoes.
that.
And the hair.
And the hair.
Please,
The
it's too
bun.
tight.
I mean, a
Um,
ponytail.
Have a little fun, Shosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Oh my god, okay.
Is that the end?
That kind of brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
This
It's
is
been
such a pleasure, Charlie. I love you so much.
Thank you guys.
I love
Truly,
my-
thank you so much for having me. I
love
really
my
did
friend
enjoy
Charlie
this.
so much. Isn't he so smart? I love having a smart friends. Charlie, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at CP_Flynn.
Perfect.
Or TikTok.
Or
Or
TikTok.
Twitter. At the same thing.
Twitter and TikTok are at ChardyPF.
And if you ever want to see me and Charlie live, we
Yeah.
host a show together. Follow us
Multiple.
at the earlier show. We're always doing wacky
No,
stuff.
and I'm obsessed with everyone listening, watching. It's like you guys have given Amelia and I purpose in life.
Yeah.
We
And-
had nothing 3 weeks ago.
No, it's been so great. We're so excited for season 2. We've got a lot more in store.
And we have exciting stuff to share with you guys. And so next episode's a recap of season 1.
Yeah, we'll be kind of looking at the character arcs from season 1 and then talking through everything we just watched and talked about in this first season before we dive into season
And
2.
then hopefully we'll have an exciting announcement too.
Yes.
Okay, well, we love you. Thank you so much.
I love you guys.
Bye. If you haven't, please rate, review us, subscribe on
Please,
YouTube.
please, please.
We'll see you next week.
People
Bye,
hate
everyone.
Hannah and take that out of us.